Hey folks, welcome back to Straight Talk Whiskey. This is Nick, as always, and thanks for joining us on episode number 3 of our Age Your Own Whiskey at Home mini-series within our larger, roughly weekly segment on whiskeys and reviewing them as such. But this is special in that we are going to be getting into our next process of the Aging Your Own Whiskey at Home. So let's do a little a recap. I'm really excited about this one because this is going to be all live. I haven't done anything yet in this next process. So whatever happens, happens. You know, could go great, could go terrible, but we're going to come out alright in the end. So where are we at? Well, we got our barrel to start with. This was a couple months ago, if you remember. If you've watched those videos, you can also go back and catch up, but I'll bring you up to speed now real quick. So basically, my thought was to add Guinness to the barrel, and basically I let that sit for a few months. I was in upstate New York, so I had a pretty hot summer, which means a lot of interaction with the beer and the wood. So I'm interested to see not only how that tastes, see if it's even palatable. I'm not really sure because I'm not huge on kind of the ins and outs of beer and the craft that goes on there as to what it's going to be like after aging in a barrel for so long. So yeah, but you couldn't do this review without some Guinness. Don't kill me, folks over in Ireland, because it's not going to be obviously the perfect pour there, but we'll try. It ain't too bad. Don't have the traditional glass to pour this in, but I do have a Guinness glass that I found. I forget where I found it, but it's a nice little, got a retro styling going on there. So we'll let that cascade on in there and start forming up. But so as you also might know, I was a little bit on the fence of where to go with this and what I would be aging spirit-wise. Would it be bourbon, Irish whiskey, Scotch? You know, maybe taking something that I already really like but want to see aged a little bit longer. The problem that I had with that is most things are bottled at 40% ABV, so they're already watered down. So my worry was having it in a barrel so long, you know, that the proof was just going to go down and down as water evaporated out of that, as well as whiskey because of the heat and the evaporation there. You know, it goes up to the angels up there. But I am happy to announce that I'm going to be aging and hopefully getting some Irish whiskey. And it's going to be kind of the style of Irish whiskey. Obviously it's not going to be aged for 3 years, and you know, all of it is not going to be made in Ireland, though they do use the American oak barrels as well as sherry and some other barrels too, depending on what the idea is of the master distiller over there. So basically, what I found, just kind of on a whim, shopping around at random liquor stores, is Bunready poitín. So this is, basically this has a history going way back to the early monks who are said to have first, you know, created whiskey, and definitely Irish whiskey. And this kind of came about during the 17th century when they started the excise tax on whiskey. You know, everybody wanted a bit of the pie, so to say. So they're trying to cut down on these illegal distilleries, you know, because they hadn't paid their tax to the government. So basically, you had a bunch of people, sort of like the moonshiners here in America. You know, they would go off to the hills, the countryside, the outback, you know, places where the buses don't run, so to say. And they would make this spirit, and then, you know, either give them to friends and family, or sell it off kind of on the down low. So basically, this is a legal version. They're being a little cute here with some of the labeling on here. First poitín legally made and bottled in Ireland. Little tag on here says export only. County Clare. That's you can see the castle on here. Actually visited that a couple months ago, which was awesome. Because we don't have a lot of castles here, especially ones that are as old as the ones in Ireland. So it says on here, it is illegal to sell or consume this product in Ireland. So it's saying that it's an export only. So basically what this means, and you can obviously, it's clear because it hasn't aged in any barrels. It can't be called an Irish whiskey. Definitely hasn't been aged at all, let alone 3 years. So they have that going for them. I'm not sure exactly if it can or cannot be sold or consumed in Ireland. I do know that they have a special agreement because this started out as a winery who now I think branched off to the Bunratty Mead and Liquor Company under the Bunratty Winery in County Clare. So basically they have a license to do this, written permission. There's more and more out there that are getting into this kind of market. It's the same way here in the States. A lot of people are putting out moonshine. Is it really moonshine? In the terms that we kind of romanticize and think about it as being, this overly potent, way upwards in the 100 proof area. You always think of people going blind or something like that. But here, with the Irish whiskey, I think it's the poitín is kind of the style in which it's created. Certainly you have some malted barley, unmalted barley, like the single pot still sort of character going on. But you also have things like potatoes and things like that being used to make it. So they don't have to stick to just cereals and that sort of thing that we think of when we distill, when we buy distilled spirit, which turns into whiskey. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So the first thing we need to do, we've got the spirit, we've got the time, which is the most important. So basically, I was just getting this little finish of the cask on the inside. Now I haven't taken any out yet, so I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know, but if you've got a glass at home, cheers, that it goes well. Delicious stuff. Alright, so first thing you want to do, if you've got one of these barrels, you want to take out the bung at the top. You want to let air go through. Otherwise, if you just turn this spout, nothing's going to happen. Boom, definitely still, it's got a nice char on it. So, like I said in previous episodes, that you want a good barrel that has a nice char on it, not just a little toast. You don't want it to, quickly prance through the flames. You want it to sit there for a good while and get that nice and toasted character and bring out a lot of good stuff for you. So, here we go. Let's let her out. There we go. Got that nice red, light brown Guinness character going on. And it really took me, honestly, to go to Ireland to be able to see actually, and people point out the redness in here. More you just think, oh, it's black. But it's really not, or even like a dark brown. But no, there's definitely some red tints going on into it. Can't really see it in my light over there, but it's definitely there, I can tell you. It's coming out pretty nicely. So basically, what I'm going to do is just give a little review of this. Now I don't have anything to pin it against, so there won't be a score. but we're going to go through the nose and taste just a little bit, and that's it. The rest of this will go into the barrel. I'm not actually going to pour this into the barrel on camera. You won't see that part because the barrel needs to air out just a little bit and dry. I don't need, Guinness coming through. As lovely as that might be, I definitely want to age just the poitín here to see what we get. Trickling out nice and slow now. Hopefully I'll remind us there. You probably shout on camera when that starts getting full and I don't realize it. So let's see what we got going on. Wow, definitely different than anything else, any other Irish whiskey, any other whiskey in general. Now I saw a review, again, I'm not out there to give names or anything like that, but had a almost a disgusted look on his face. Oops, I already gave part of that away, of who it might be. As to the smell, and they were just like blown away and sort of disgusted, but I honestly don't see the issue. First thing that I get, some really nice ripe grapes going on there. A little plum in there, some aniseed, fresh cut grass. It's lovely. I don't know what the hell his problem was. Amazing. But nice honey, some nice some light fruits in there. Definitely the grapes, like I said, but real fragrant, beautiful. There's nothing overpowering. This is bottled at 45% ABV, so 90 proof, a little bit higher on the standard, which also is what sort of drew me to this, the poitín. Just nice and lovely. Let's go in for a taste, see what it's all about. Man, that is something else. That's just something else. It's got more characteristics, like a gin. Definitely Hendrick's. Yeah, I see a lot of resemblance to that. And basically what you're getting is definitely those grapes that I talked about, and this lightness, this fragrance, but it's got a very like sugary quality to it, which is really neat. Wow, this is huge. And it's taken me so much time to kind of pin this down because it's just got bursts of flavor going all over the place. Definitely has the hint of aniseed, slightly sourish going on, sour grape, sour candy going on there. If you can imagine like a warhead, if you know what those candies are. It's got the little, it's got the nice sugary coating on the outside, fruity. But boy, when you get to the center of that, it's just a punch, nice little punch of sour, and you kind of like, if you weren't awake already, you're gonna be awake now. Just nice. The mouthfeel on it too is wonderful. Just a nice, sugary, nice oily texture. There's definitely body there. If you do come across this review, and I won't say who it was because I don't want to be that guy, but maybe there's something to it that I'm not getting. He says abomination the entire time. It's just like, let's do a little recreation. Just like that kind of garbage. But yeah, if you have seen that review before, do not let that deter you. If you see these bottles, definitely pick one up. I think it was like, at least where I am, $20-something, which is ridiculous because honestly I wasn't sure quality-wise what it would be like, but this is just wonderful. I could sit here and sip this. I'm slightly sorry that this has to go away in the barrel for a few months, but that only makes me all the more hopeful that I'll have something really awesome once it gets out. I'm definitely going to have the Guinness flavors accompanied with that. I won't go back to the Guinness now because that'll taint the taste a little bit, but I got most of the notes, flavor profiles there for you. So. And right at the end too, there's a nice little kick there, almost like a rye sort of kick going on, to complement it. Believe me, all your taste buds are, firing on all cylinders, which is just crazy awesome. I definitely think it's largely in part to the 45% ABV. They put that up there a little bit, which is wonderful. Who knows what this would have tasted like at 80 proof. I can only imagine. It might have just tasted like a watered down version, that only hints of it were there. But definitely bumping that up is just wonderful. Definitely something to look out for. Wow, surprises me. I'm going to have to look out for more poitín so I can really give this a good kind of contender to go up against. I know Glendalough has maybe 3 poitíns out there, so I'll definitely pick that up. They might be a little higher proof too, so that'll be interesting. Now, if you notice, I was prepared. I had 2 of these canisters ready. So these are, Christ, I'm going to have to do math here in a minute, but 600 something milliliters, maybe around 700 or something like that. But what I started out with was roughly 110 milliliters. No, that's not right. See, I don't know the metric system too well. So basically, these that are 11.2 fluid ounces, I took about 7, 8-ish of those. So I think there has been a little thievery going on by the Angels. Not too much, but I was prepared in case this whole thing did empty out, which is 2 liters, 2-liter barrel. So it was almost always up to the very top. So I definitely think there's been some Angels interacting with this one. So. Just nice, lovely, wonderful. Like I said, if you can get to it, bottle of one ready, poitín, please do. Let me know what you think, because I think we've got, at least I know based on personal experience, has to get the word out there that this is not what some other high-profile reviewer has said about it. That's the only thing I hate, when you come across doing not just whiskey reviews. You do come across it a lot more because you're looking more at it, but just like you guys at home, like connoisseurs and enthusiasts, just getting into it, may just be like, okay, I see this, just picked up a bottle of this, or someone might have gotten it for you. Let me look that up, and because of this sort of reputation that he has, this will be, his review will be the first one that comes up, without a doubt. I don't imagine there's too many of this out there. So, basically the first time you see that, and you have somebody who's so well known and regarded, they can really deter people away from something like this. I think it's just like the unaged rye, even the rusted rye from Jack Daniel's, where a lot of people was like, oh, they're just jacking up the price for collectors who will never open it. It'll just sit in a bottle, and many years down the line, it'll be a ridiculous amount of money. First thing I did when I got it was opened it up, so I could, follow the journey that Jack Daniels was going through with creating this new mash bill that was heavier on rye. Because that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the taste, the flavors, the history, the lore of it, terroir, they call it. I'm just interested in all that sort of thing, how things are crafted, what makes one different than the other. Comparing. That's the key word there, comparing against others. And I try to, if there is something negative about a whiskey, I always try to balance it with the good, that it provides. If it's lacking in flavor, well, maybe that's perfect for mixing in a cocktail or something like that for somebody who does that. So there's always a positive aspect to that. But to just come out there and be like, saying, oh, what the hell is that? Who bottled this shit? Sorry. But you know what I mean. The people just like that, that knock it really, without really giving people a chance to try it. Because people can be really influential, especially in this computer age where people just, you can even scan the barcode on here probably at the store and, instantly have a link to a review or something like that about it. So, just be on the lookout for that. Maybe try 2 or 3 reviews if you can on something you know nothing about. Maybe you know a little bit about it, but just, kind of play the field there with these reviews. So, oh yeah, you're probably waiting for me to try this. I keep looking at it like it's going to do something, change colors or turn into something wonderful. But yeah, we'll give it a little smell, and if it sounds a little, smells a little rancid, well, I'll probably still taste it anyway. This one, light, creamy, slightly chocolatey, malt characteristic going on in there, like a malted milkshake almost. Yeah. Beautiful on the other hand. It's a little over dramatic, but it really kind of just takes your breath away, knocks you back just for a second, because it's just, I'm a huge Guinness fan, and I don't drink a ton of beers. Guinness is really what I kind of stick to, and I try to play the whole stout sort of area when it comes to beer. Just to compare and contrast. I'm not a huge IPA guy, so I don't do that too much. Stick more to the stouts, but it's just the journey, the experience embodied in Guinness that kind of has all your taste buds, all your senses heightened, and you go through a nice journey that's fulfilling, full-bodied, characterful, beautiful. So we had that loveliness, and then we have this, which, as I smell right now, there's a lot of wood influence going on in there. For sure, I can smell initially that toasted wood note in there. It's sort of like when I tried, and you probably saw the review from Tullamore of the really early bottling of Tullamore 12-year. And, it did have some, well, it had a cork issue, basically. It probably dried up so much after all the years, probably sitting in someone's attic or something like that. And a little bit had started chipping away and gotten into the wood, just a little bit. It was also shipped a few thousand miles to where I am, so that didn't help either. But it just taints it a little bit. So I'm hoping that's not what's going to go on here, but we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely. Let's spin this to a positive, because it definitely feels like you took the soul, right, out of the Guinness. Basically, you still have very, very slight hints of the Guinness going on there, but it's the wood, the oak, charred tannins, and the woods coming out in this. It's not something you sit there and sip. It's definitely not something you would bottle. But, had to taste it to know. So, basically, the positive spin is that all the good, wonderful Guinness character should be in there. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping on. I'm hoping it's kind of captured inside the walls of that, and a couple more months, or even more, in the barrel will really impart some of those wonderful traditional Guinness notes. And now that I tasted this, I'm really excited to see how those will pair together, and how this will age it, and that sort of thing, and see if it tastes like any other Irish whiskies that are out there, which could be really interesting to see if it comes, even if it comes close to something else that you can get out there, will be really interesting to see. So, I think that's it for this whiskey review. Next week, I'll let you know if anything crazy happened, which I doubt it will. I'm going to fill this up, like I said, let this dry a little bit. But next week we'll be back onto the review series, and we'll have something interesting for you. As always, please comment. I love the comments. I love the discussion, getting that going. It's awesome. We all love it. That's probably why you're watching this review, because you love it too, or you're learning to love it, or, what have you. So, for that, I'm Nick with Straight Talk Whiskey. Join us next time. Have a good week. And as always, drink responsibly.